All right, so we're out in Mountain View at BMW's new technology office, and we're here with the head of the office, Stefan Durack. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you guys operate here?
Okay, so we are part of the BMW group, and actually we are more like a small startup within the big company BMW, and we operate exactly like a startup. So we are right here in the middle of Silicon Valley, and I would say in a range of about 50 miles around us, there's every great company which is important for us. Small startup, venture capital companies, big players like the Google and the Apples, and we try to do business with all of them. And like I mentioned before, we are playing a little bit startup, so we find interesting project, we build interesting prototypes, and we execute and making actually products out of it, right out of our small office here. So we do basically everything, engineering, everything what it needs, what is necessary to make a product out of it.
Okay, and what kind of things are you working on that you're going to be bringing to the BMW group?
So certainly here in Silicon Valley, there is a lot about consumer electronics, and we will talk a little bit about Mini Connected and BMW Connected, for example. And then other big area is everything around energy, electric mobility and things like that. So consumer electronics, all along these lines, and energy, that's the main big two topics we're dealing with in here.
All right, very cool. So you're going to give us a little look around and maybe a
Sure.
little demo in a little bit?
Sure. We'll show you a little bit around, give you a couple of demos, and you can see a little bit what we are doing here.
All right, great. Thanks a lot.
So what we're looking at is our current offering for infotainment systems in our BMW vehicles. And right now we have our sort of traditional offering of built-in navigation system with beautifully rendered 3D graphics and satellite imagery. We also have the ability to manage your Bluetooth phone connections. So when you configure a phone to work with your infotainment system, it absorbs all of your address book, and then you can use the remote control and high resolution display to take phone calls, to receive, to set phone calls, that sort of technology. And these are all things that are built into the car.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, of course, radio, the ability to access all your radio stations, including satellite radio and HD radio, and CD multimedia. That's a big part of our offering for a while. So I guess one thing I did want to show you is the video playback capability. That's one of the new features that we have here, and these are sort of the things that we've traditionally offered. But what we're talking about today is this technology that we call BMW apps, and it basically allows your favorite smartphone features to be used in the car in an automotive fashion. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So maybe a good segue is to go first from our traditional iPhone integration to something we call plugin. And plugin supports that new protocol from Apple called iPod out. And what's new with iPod out is now you're seeing what is an Apple design but automotive grade interface that's coming directly from the device, and it's controlled by all the automotive controls. So what you're seeing here is sort of a traditional iPod menu structure, and that you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that features like Genius Mixes, which are not currently available through any other integration, are available through this interface. So I can browse through my Genius Mixes list and select the list of songs that I'm in the mood for right now.
Oh, love K&D.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And now this is a great automotive use case, right? Like I'm in the mood for this sort of stuff, and you can just select from that Genius Mixes, and now you have a list that is fully integrated with your vehicle, and you can listen to it through your fantastic BMW automotive audio system.
Yeah.
And it also offers features like, well, I want some more of this kind of thing, so maybe I want to browse the artist. And it's that interaction design that Apple does very well, but we've leveraged into an automotive experience. And when we say automotive, we mean things like the font size is of a minimum size. The interaction design, it doesn't take more than X number of steps to accomplish this task or that task. So it's very much geared towards being able to be used safely while driving. And it's presented with this bright screen and the album art, and as other features show up down the line, as part of Apple's strategy, customers with this feature would get it automatically. And that's really one of the great things about this overall technology.
Very cool.
So
It looks great.
Oh, great, thanks. So that is one way we enable new features from outside of the car to get into the car. And I want to show the other one right now. What we're showing you here is an integration of our iPhone. And I'm going to show you an app that is available called Bmw Connected. And I start the app, and you can see that the app starts communicating with the vehicle.
So plug-in is iPod out.
Plug-in is iPod out strictly,
Okay.
right. BMW, the apps feature presents new functions that are running on the phone using the phone's data connection and processor to present new features
So
in the
just some
car.
metadata coming out into the system. And it's
Exactly.
kind of rendering the whole thing.
Exactly like that. So before, under BMW apps, there weren't any features, but now you see that there's web radio, Twitter, and Facebook.
Right.
So let's go to web radio first. And what this is doing is giving you access to thousands of internet radio stations from around the world. And it's really kind of a nice experience to drive around California and listen to your favorite, Germany or Austrian-based radio station like FM4. So I always like to do a search. For example, do you have a radio station that you're from Michigan?
I like Groove Salad.
Groove Salad, is that an internet radio station?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if that's listed on our.
It's a Soma.fm station.
Okay, we can try to search for Groove. Let's see what Groove yields. Groove FM, home of the Groove. I guess Groove is a pretty popular word.
Yeah.
And you see these are from all over the world.
Yeah.
Groove Yard, Smooth Groove.
There it is, right up there.
Oh, okay, Groove Salad. So we can select that radio station. And then using the iPhone's data connection, it's streaming it, but it goes through our audio system. And I can add that to my list of favorites so that next time I get in the car and start web radio, they're all just right there, worldwide.
Very cool.
So that is one use case that we enable through our BMW apps feature. Let me show you a couple more. A big part of iPhone usage and smartphone usage in general is new ways to communicate. And Twitter and Facebook is a big part of that. So what we've done here is not your traditional Twitter or Facebook interface, but rather an automotive-grade version of that. And what I mean is, when you select Twitter, it logs in with the credentials that you've set up on your iPhone. And it does present to you tweets of people that you're following, for example, The Onion, if you want to have that sort of information available to you at a glance. But I think more interestingly, it allows you to select among a group of pre-composed tweets. And what I mean by that is all of these tweets were created by the app, taking into account information of the car. So for example, it says here it's 73 degrees out and I'm driving around in my BMW.
Okay.
So the car knows where it is, it knows what temperature it is, it puts that sentence together, it knows you're in a BMW, and if you so wanted to share that information with one click, you could do that sort of thing. You could likewise do the same thing for destinations. If you're navigating towards Los Angeles and you want to share that destination with people that follow you, and perhaps they can caravan and meet you there, you have that capability. It's a similar interface for Facebook. Similar idea that you have your friends and you could look at their posts if you so wanted to, but you can also choose from among a group of pre-composed posts. And as I called this guy recently from my Facebook account, so I could post that to Facebook as well. And that's all part of the BMW Connected app that works with BMW apps. And we will update this over time to include more and more features, which is really a fantastic thing. So if our customers say, we'd really like this service, then we can work towards integrating that. And as an example of that, we announced in January that we will integrate Pandora into our vehicles, which is a great use case for automotive. So what I've shown here is I'm launching the Pandora app. And you'll see in a second that it sees that it's communicating to the vehicle.
So that's just the standard Pandora app?
Standard Pandora app. So our technology is built into their app. You see that it's communicating to a BMW. And again, we put the phone away. It's all about using this. And now you see that Pandora has shown up in the screen. And I select Pandora. And this goes directly into my account where I have all of my radio stations available. So I can select among them, or more interestingly, I can create a new station. So do you have a particular song or artist that you like?
Thievery Corporation?
Thievery Corporation. Okay, so I start typing Thievery Corporation, so THIE, and we're already submitting that information
Oh, there it is.
to Pandora, and they use their their smart search algorithms, and Thievery Corporation is the top thing. I simply select it, and now I have a Thievery Corporation radio station in my car that I can drive along with. It's a great automotive use
Yeah,
case.
very cool.
It's really a way to manage access to a lot of songs very easily in the car.
Yeah, instead of having to be doing it illegally.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. We're all about making sure that it's easy to use while driving. So now, if I wanted to, I could also have things like my split screen going, and it gives you information about what you're listening to, but perhaps I want to have my map as well. So now you're driving along, you're listening to Pandora, you have your map information, and it's all managed for you in a very clear, simple manner.
Very cool.
Yeah?